Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm calling to order the regular city council meeting for the city of Hayden, Idaho. It is Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. It's approximately 5:02 p.m. May we get a roll call of council members, please?
Council President Roeder?
Yes.
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Councilmember DePriest?
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes. Matt, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Glad to, Mayor.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Booyah. Okay, calling for any additions or corrections?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
I would motion that we remove item 4A, agreement with the Kootenai County for law enforcement services from tonight's agenda.
Second.
Here's a motion and a second. Any discussion? May we get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember White?
No.
Council President Roeder?
Yes.
Councilmember DePriest?
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay, item 4A is removed. Moving on to the consent calendar, which consists of approving the November 12th, 2025 City Council meeting minutes, approval of November 18th, 2025 City Council meeting minutes, approval of November 24th, 2025 Special City Council meeting minutes, approval of 2026 K Tigers Taekwondo.
Go for it.
That's who puts on the
ICO.
classes.
All right, in care of Hung Kim Contractual Services Agreement, approval of 2026 Basic Balance Gymnastics Contractual Services with Sheila Schmidt, approval of Professional Services Agreement with Hiller Fire for inspections and testing of City Hall Fire System, approval of Professional Services Agreement with Hiller Fire for Fire System Management and Monitoring, approval of Hiller Fire quote to install fire alarm system in the Public Works facility, approval of Access Unlimited and Security Incorporated quote to install security system at Public Works facility, approval of fiscal year 2024 fourth quarter financials, acceptance of grant of easement and right-of-way dedication, acceptance of public infrastructure associated with Hess Street North LLC site plan, acceptance of grant of easement and right-of-way dedication, and acceptance of public infrastructure associated with Church of Living Water Incorporated site plan, approval of memorandum of understanding with Kootenai County for emergency radio services, ratification of the November payroll, ratification for bills paid, and bills for payment. Is there any questions on the consent calendar? Does anyone like to make a motion?
Sure.
Thank you, Ed.
I would move to approve consent calendar A through P as listed. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? May we get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Council President Roeder?
Yes.
Councilmember DePriest?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to move on to visitor public comment. Abby, it looks like we have some visitor comments this morning, or this afternoon.
What was that?
It's been a long day, people. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a long day. All right. I'm going to read the public comment procedure because I think we have some new folks here. I just want to make sure we're all on the same sheet. This is a city council meeting, transparently documenting city business. Although not a meeting with the public, citizens may address the dais if they fill out a card located on the table in the back of the room. Public comments are absolutely welcome, but they cannot address those issues that our city council will reasonably hold a hearing, including issues related to anticipated land use decisions. As we are here to positively build our city, please refrain from using the podium for spectacle. I will limit individual comments to 3 minutes, and speakers will state their name and primary residential city prior to addressing council. I encourage everyone to more meaningfully engage the city through a personal appointment with staff or myself if there is a problem to solve. I will visibly indicate when a speaker needs to quickly conclude their comments. So with that in mind, Ian, what's that? You'll go last? All right. Looks like Linda Cross. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Good evening, Linda.
Hi. Hello, I'm Linda Cross.
And you live in Hayden?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, in Hayden, yes.
Yeah.
And I know that on item 5E, under new business, the city is going to be considering approving proposals for a strategic planning consultant to evaluate law enforcement services in Hayden. And I just want to say that I think that I would like the city to or the council to consider the expenses of what it would incur for a police department for our city, as opposed to continuing the contract with the sheriff's office. Our sheriff is accountable to the public. A police chief is accountable to the mayor and to the city council. And sometimes that can be a great thing, and sometimes it is not a good thing. The expenses that are involved with having our own police department not only includes personnel, uniforms, weapons, vehicles, training, continuing training, sick time, long-term IOD costs, pensions, lawsuits, 911 operators, dispatchers, secretaries, record clerks, a building, a facility, a jail, vehicle insurance, lawsuit insurance, a crime lab, evidence lockers, crime scene processing personnel, jail, detectives, investigation training, FBI Academy training, which almost all agencies send somebody to Quantico for training, terrorism training, et cetera. As you can see, there's a lot involved in incurring those type of expenses to bring on a police department. And I'm not really sure utilizing hundreds of thousands of dollars for a consulting firm to come and say, it's going to cost you more to start a police department than it is to continue with KCSO is a really wise expenditure of funds. I am concerned for a multitude of things. I've seen city councils utilize the police department in a very negative manner against their citizens, in which later things are brought up by a city prosecuting attorney that you can't do those things, et cetera. And I'm very concerned about police department being weaponized. And the sheriff is accountable, like I said, to the public. And even just going back to all the expenses that I just mentioned, which of course we know there's even more, I have no doubt there'll be a time when they're going to be saying, we need more females on the job. And you're going to get females on the job, they're going to have kids, and then they're going to go off long-term maternity leave. All the officers are going to have to carry their load. The overtime, excuse me? The overtime expenses will far overshadow and exceed what the KCSO is charging the city.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Okay, up we next, Dan Cross.
My name's Dan Cross from Hayden, and I'm following up here with my wife under 5E as well. I worked for 32 years in law enforcement. I had the opportunity to work under a police chief that had civil service status, which means he was like the sheriff. He was accountable to the public and to a police commission versus just a mayor and a city council. So in the beginning, it was a very good job and a place I really enjoyed working because we enforced the Constitution and things were fair. Later down the road, they changed that. Our police chief was now under the mayor and the city council. And then it became, we were told to do selective enforcement. Who we could enforce, what we could enforce, what we couldn't enforce. Some of the police officers did it on their own, but just things weren't filed. Nothing was followed through on. So I really saw how it changed. And my concern is, again, not only the cost of a police department. I know that most police department budgets are the largest part of any city's budget. I mean, they're massive. And yeah, it'd be nice to have our own police department, but I think financially, it would be a massive, massive burden, especially to take on in the beginning. And I'm just concerned about the tax ramifications of all that, and then just the cost of looking into it. But anyways, those are my major concerns that I wanted to share today, so.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
All right, Ian, you're last.
Hello, my name's Ian. I live in Hayden. I've got two parts. One on just a small note. When voting is happening, I don't understand why some of you are voting no. I'm not arguing with anyone, just like, it'd be helpful to be like, I don't think this, or just more comment, I guess, because all I'm seeing, especially watching older city council meetings, I just hear no, and I'm like, well, why are they voting no? What is the reason? So I think just more like, it's okay to explain and pontificate on why, or maybe offer solutions. That was just kind of one iota on there. And as far as this police business, I'm 33 years old. I'm the only one here in that age range, other than maybe one person. No offense to anyone here. The average home buyer in our area was revealed to be about 43, I believe, at our last meeting. And while I do agree there will be initial costs to a police department, we do need to plan on the future because we're already behind in a lot of areas with our intersections, as we know. So, you know, just food for thought for council. I would love to, you know, I don't think there's ever going to be a perfect solution, but we also do need to plan for the future for our younger generation, and hopefully more of them get involved. And my last thing is, please, for the love of God, can we make progress on this HURA stuff now that we've finalized the acquisition? I hope that we can give any resources that the rest of your employees need as well to get their deadline done, and please make this last 5 years actually beneficial from it, and we see some great progress on it. And my last thing is the intersection at Ramsey and Honeysuckle. I know it's a big contention and we've got some holdouts or whatever it is, but ever since the sheriff has moved to Dakota, it has made the traffic more than doubled. And my neighborhood off of Prairie and Ramsey at Stoddard Meadows, you've taken away our ability to go west because of the school there on Prairie. And now when, 10 o'clock in the morning, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning and 4 or 5 in the afternoon, I cannot go north on Ramsey. So I only have one way to get out of my neighborhood, and there's quite a bit of us there, and it's basically landlocking us, trapping us in our own neighborhood at this point. So, again, with that growth of the area, I would really love to see something happen at that intersection, because not only is there more people here, you've now put the officers, which thankfully, I like that they're closer personally, but there's just more traffic now coming down that intersection, and it's causing like 30 car backups. So it's not pleasant. And I don't know if the solution is to move along with the roundabout that they had or whatever that is, but that's just something that has, it's going to cause a really bad accident at some point because someone's going to jump something and not see it. And I just don't want that to happen, especially with the, like I said, a higher average age of home ownership in Hayden. So that's my last thing. So.
Okay, we're going to now move to item 3, which is a public hearing, action item PZE 250098, Honeysuckle Glade vacation of easement request. As this is a public hearing, our staff is going to present, and then we're going to open the floor to public comment. Okay, thank you. What's that? Was it just an error that we didn't split it? Okay. Do we have public comment for the hearing yet? Okay. Good evening, Donna.
Good evening. Tonight, we're here to hear the request PZE 250098, the Honeysuckle Glade Vacation of Easement. Just as some background, vacations of right-of-way and/or easements, the process is entirely in standards found in Idaho state statutes. Most of the analysis occurred in the staff review in pages 3 to 5. And agencies who may provide utilities, more specifically underground utilities, were noticed. And those who provided comments are summarized on page 7 of the staff analysis. I have also included copies of the additional, they're going to love me, I'm walking away from the podium, agencies that responded in addition to those in your staff review.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Donna.
the reasons the agency comments are so important is because Idaho state statute requires that all agencies that may have underground utility infrastructure provide comment back. So that's why it was important to have all of those inclusive. And then there is a staff recommended condition at the end of this related to those agencies that I'll cover when I give my full analysis. I'm going to leave this picture up. Mike Curry was the face that you saw on the screen before we brought up the presentation. He's not available to be here tonight, and the person that was going to be here is sick. So he's participating remotely, and he'll be presenting on behalf of the applicant. So Mike Curry is from Big Sky Idaho Corp., and the applicant is Timbered Ridge Homes. And this easement area that they're requesting the vacation of is a portion of an easement that was behind the pathway on the east side of Reed Road as part of the Honeysuckle Glade planned unit development. And it's kind of a wonky path that's in there, and it's a pretty kind of wow easement that was put in place.
Donna, would you mind, for the benefit of everybody here tonight, just locating where this is happening?
Well, this is kind of, let's see. I'm gonna bring this graphic up a little bit. So this is an aerial image. Honeysuckle is up here. This is Reed Road South. And this is the pathway that exists out there today. And they're looking to vacate the portion that's within here and move it closer to that standardized 10-foot utility stormwater roadway easement that we have behind the right-of-way line.
Yeah, and just for everybody's clarity, the big box store is just to the east.
Okay, yes, correct.
Where is the big box store?
It's over here.
Walmart.
Walmart is over here.
I don't see the cursor going there.
It's over here. Walmart is over here.
Oh, gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. That's right. So with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Curry to present his request, and then I'll continue with my staff analysis.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Mike Curry, I'm with Big Sky Capital. Little introduction, little history on the project. We purchased this PUD from Scott Taylor, who had got the project approved in 2007. We have spent the last couple of years working through the PUD and also have completed one phase of a plat on the southern section of the project, southern boundary of the parcels. The easement that we're requesting a vacation of, or actually a modification to, but I understand that it's essentially an easement vacation, was originally platted. When we went back and reviewed the initial plat and all of the construction documents that were related to the infrastructure for Honeysuckle Glade, we essentially went back and reviewed the construction drawings to try to figure out why the easement looks the way it looks on paper. And we have been unable to find any utilities, any drainage, any roadway that would have had any effect on that easement needing to be essentially, it varies between 10 and 15 feet wider than the typical easement on the east side of Reed Road. So as we're working through the PUD and the subsequent plats and laying in what the potential lots, parcels are going to look like, we found that this easement essentially encroaches into a couple of the lot locations pretty stringently. It puts some limitation on some of the parcels. That in and of itself, I understand isn't enough reason to request a vacation of easement, but as we continued to look at it, and we were looking for reasons for it to exist the way it exists, we thought it would be just as easy to go through this process, which is, timely, it's several months, to ask that easement be essentially vacated, but also essentially adjusted as an offset of the modial path that follows along the east side of Reed Road. It's key to understand also that all of this infrastructure is in place. We're not looking at any additional public right-of-way access for essentially the tracks. There will be some infrastructure interior to the tracks in the future, but nothing that would require or would bring us to the city to request access from Reed Road in any additional form. I will say that the modial path being 10 feet wide and the existing swales that are along Reed Road all fall within either easements or within the track. Some of them are privately maintained. Donna could kind of weigh in on this a little bit in her continued analysis. Most of the infrastructure here is private and privately maintained, except for Reed Road, of course. We're not asking for any reduction in what would be considered a standard for a roadway section for the city of Hayden. We're just asking that where this easement deviates from the modial path, and you can see that on the north end, and then as it comes around that radius and then terminates on the south end, we essentially just want to take that portion and move it and adjust it so that it is an offset of the modial path. I think Dulcie, I'm not sure if Dulcie's there this evening, but there's been some discussion about what the actual offset would be. And then I guess it behooves us to talk about how we're going to go about this. This came about because when we asked for consideration of this vacation of easement, legal determined that because of, and our surveyor, of course, they determined that because the easement was created through plat, it can only be adjusted or modified, vacated, moved in any direction by a plat. We actually have a plat that has been submitted to the city along with construction drawings for the next phase of Honeysuckle Glade. It's Honeysuckle Glade 2. It is essentially the northern portion, the northern larger parcels you see just to the north of this easement vacation area. The easement vacation, if you guys deem it approvable through ordinance, we would work with the city and provide the offset of the modial path as it currently exists, and then show it as a easement and record it in the future beyond the ordinance as a future plat. Yeah, I think that's about it, unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions for the applicant?
About the how, why, or what.
Tom, anything?
No, I don't have any questions.
Sandy or Matt, any questions for the applicant?
No.
Okay. Mike, thank you.
I will say one more thing. Donna and I spoke earlier today, and there was one utility company, TDS, that has not responded. Some of the other telecommunication companies have, but TDS did not. I did reach out to TDS again today, shared with them that we needed to get comment from them, especially since, as Donna has already stated, that all utilities need to be heard from. And it's reasonable to make that a condition of the approval if you see fit to do so.
Okay, thank you. Donna?
Okay, so picking up from that and kind of working our way through the analysis, I'm just going to go through those standards from 50-1306A. So the application was received in October of 2025. Agency notices were sent via email and U.S. Postal Service on October 27th, 2025. And we revised it for clarity because, again, where the heck is that easement? You know, we were trying to pin that down so it was easier to figure out. And those were resent on November 19th. Public service announcements and APOs were sent on November 21st, and the website posted on November 22nd, the same day as the first legal published in the paper. The second legal was published on November 29th. Public hearing was scheduled for tonight. Number 4 isn't applicable to this request. Number 5 goes back to that conversation that Mr. Curry identified, that on the face of the plat for Honeysuckle Glade, it has a drawing that says this is a 35-foot multimodal path, utility, and drainage easement. And then in the ownership block, it identifies that the owners hereby dedicate to the city of Hayden, which is why we're here tonight for a public hearing about this vacation, because the easement was dedicated to us. Stuff about what happened on Honeysuckle, it was at the beginning of this. And then it goes on to say that a multimodal path, utility, and drainage easement that varies in width from 30 feet to 35 feet along Reed Road as shown hereon. And that's that kind of weird thing that they're trying to shrink down. The city is required to have on file written acknowledgement of this notice from all the utilities which may be located within this easement area or who are anticipating use of this easement area and have concerns or items which must be addressed should the city approve the request for a vacation. 6 isn't applicable. 7, the noticing deposit was collected at the time of application. 8 isn't applicable to this request, and neither is 9. And then 10 asks for the ability to come back and get copies of comments that were received and the noticing that occurred, and those are available upon request. So the agencies that were noticed are the ones that are shown here. Coeur d'Alene Airport didn't respond, but they don't have underground utilities in this particular location. We did have to reach out, our team did reach out several times to the agencies to remind them that we actually needed a response back. And we were able to get responses from everyone except for TDS, that's this one here. And so that was part of the conversation that should the council approve this request to vacate this easement, that prior to recordation of the ordinance, staff recommends the applicant provide documentation from TDS as to any concerns with the request. The only reason we say that is because we actually were copied on emails back and forth within TDS's folks that were asking each other if they should have concerns. But we never received an email that said they did or did not have concerns. And so that's why we would like something from them that was specific. So then the city council could either approve, continue this request, or deny, and I stand for questions.
Questions for Donna? Matt or Sandy?
Yes, I have a question. So TDS did not reply. Would it be wise to wait to approve this till TDS replies?
We did not see anything in the correspondence back and forth from TDS that would say that they did have any infrastructure in this location. It's entirely up to the council at this point. I don't know.
Okay. Is it possible that it would be a problem for them? That they have?
They would still retain an easement if they don't have any infrastructure. It doesn't appear based on what they've passed back and forth at each other that they have infrastructure in this location. But again, I'm not part of their system. I can't speak for them. But they would still retain a utility easement in this location. It would just be narrower. Do you have any additional comments, Dulcie?
That
sounds great. What you just went over is exactly what I feel like.
Okay.
So would this affect the road that exists there? Would the road need to change at all?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Ed, Tom? Okay, Donna, thank you. Okay, at this point, we will open the floor for any public comment directed at council. We have no forms. Does anyone in the audience wish to provide testimony? Okay, so we'll move to then the applicant. So Mike, if you want to offer rebuttal against anything that Donna brought up during her presentation, you can. You cannot introduce anything that's new.
No, I don't have anything to add with regards to anything Donna has said. I would say that that the council member's question with regards to would this be a situation where it would be wiser to wait, I would agree with what she's saying if we were talking about proposed infrastructure, but because we have all of the infrastructure all along Reed Road that's already been constructed, approved, and accepted by the city of Hayden, and the fact that we're not, I mean, technically it's called a vacation of easement, but we're not just vacating an easement. We're really just modifying this to follow the modal path in a more reasonable manner. And like Donna said, the easement itself for potential users, utilities, will remain. It's just going to look a little different.
Okay, thank you, Mike. All right, at this point, I'll close the public hearing, and council can choose to proceed with deliberations or schedule deliberations to a later date. What does council like to do?
Proceed.
Proceed?
Proceed.
All right, so council, proceed with deliberations, please.
I got nothing.
You got nothing, Ed?
Well, seeing as we have deliberation after, I'm going to go ahead and make the motion to approve. It's pretty straightforward what's going on here, pretty simple if you ask me. And as has been described, there's no tearing up of roads, nothing's changing road. They're suggesting some lines, it appears. So I'm going to I move to approve the PZE 250098 Honeysuckle Glade Vacation of Easement request with staff recommended conditions of approval, finding that the request is in accord with the standards of Idaho state statutes based upon testimony received at the city council public hearing and the record of the request.
Second.
Is there any discussion for the motion being made? Sandy?
Mr. Mayor, I have just one question. Do we need to include Northern Lakes Fire District's conditions?
They were in there.
In the motion?
There are some conditions of approval that Northern Lakes has requested. You have the option to update your motion or not.
Kind of standard in the city's requirements.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
all right. Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember White?
Yes?
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Council President Roder?
Yes.
Councilmember DePriest?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna move on to new business. We've got, three separate action items that are under 5A. The first is a request for extension of preliminary plat approval concerning Maybury Estates J 2022-612. Do we want to do a motion for each of these, I assume?
Yes, please.
Separately? Okay. So we'll just stick with that one for now. There are recommended motions on the memo from staff.
Did you want me to go through each of the requests, or?
Does council
we
need
have
that?
the applicants are all in the audience. They could answer questions from council direct. What would be your preference?
So pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Do we want to do anything though for the benefit of the public here tonight? That,
You mean like a reason why the?
just a
request-
summary, yeah, just so everybody understands
Donna,
what we're
can you
voting on.
speak broadly as to why we're extending the request for the preliminary plat approval?
So in our subdivision code, it allows for applicants to come forward if their project is moving in a, forward path, to request of council extensions in the request. In the case of single-phased subdivisions, which two of these requests are for, they're allowed a 1-year extension if they haven't met the final plat within 2 years. And both of those have got reasons why those requests have been made. The first one, Mabry Estates off of Atlas Road, fundamentally is because as they got into construction plan review, they found out that they had a plethora of water lines that they needed to get rerouted. And they were able to do that working with Hayden Lake Irrigation District to get that modification to occur, but it has taken some time to get there from here. With the second request, this is the first time this particular property owner has developed in the area, I believe. Correct, Yael? Yeah. And went out to bid, and it was a little bit bigger chunk of change than what he had anticipated. And so he had to go back and regroup, and he's looking for an extension to go ahead and build that, this construction season, hopefully. And then with the third request, that's for a phased subdivision request. And as you can see, it took a little bit of a rocky start to get going at the beginning. They've been making good headway over the course of the last 2 or 3 years, but they're at their 5-year mark to finish, and they recognize that they just couldn't quite get there because of their kind of late blooming at the beginning. And so they are also requesting a 1-year extension.
Okay, thank you. Fine with that?
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
All right, does anyone want to make a motion then, or?
I have one
Or a question?
if I may. Now, we have a turnaround that is at the Marks Ranch property just north of Trail Ridge Estates. Does this extension affect that at all, or how does that play into timing?
I don't think it affects, the
Yeah.
extension does not affect that. That is a condition of the Marks Ranch.
To further expand on that, a condition of either subdivision is at the construction of the 30th building permit that the connection be made.
The 30th building permit of the Trail Ridge Estates, not
Of-
Marks.
Either subdivision.
Both.
Oh, both?
Either, whichever one comes first.
Okay, okay. But we have no idea when that road will be completed. It's all based on timing of those permits. Okay. Thank you.
So I want to make a motion?
Are we going to vote individually on each of these? Is that what we're doing?
Yes, please, thank you.
I'll make a motion that I move to approve the Mabry subdivision extension of preliminary plat approval request for 1 year to December 31, 2026, based upon testimony received at the city council meeting and the record of the request.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Councilmember DePreez?
Yes.
Council President Roder?
Yes.
Okay, what's it take Sacred Meadows on?
I'll go for it. I move to approve the Sacred Meadows subdivision extension of preliminary plat approval request for 1 year to December 31st, 2026, based upon testimony received at the city council meeting and the record of the request.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on the motion? May we get a roll call vote, please?
Council President Roder?
Yes.
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Councilmember DePreez?
Yes.
And one for Trail Ridge?
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the extension of preliminary plat for Trail Ridge Estates. I forget what PZE that is.
J 2020-0369.
Okay, yeah, J 2020-0369.
For a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion being made? May we get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember DePreez?
Yes.
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Council President Roder?
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay, continuing along new business, our next action item is Trail Creek Estates final plat and acceptance of infrastructure. Staff is recommending City Council approve the final plat, accept the public infrastructure, and permit the mayor to sign the final plat. Prior to recordization with the Kootenai County Recorder's Office contingent upon completion of, and they've got 4 items. Does council have any questions, or is there information from staff required to make the decision? Would someone like to make a motion?
Sure. Guess pick a number. I would move to approve Trail Creek Estates final plat and acceptance of infrastructure with the recommended, got everything there for it?
There's 4 of them there.
With the recommendations of staff.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion being made?
The only thing I'll note is that on our memo here, it says the agenda item location is consent, but apparently that's been changed.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Okay. May we get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Council President Roder?
Yes.
Councilmember DePreez?
Yes.
Okay, our next action item is to confer Jim Schrader to the Veterans Commission. His term of appointment will be December 9th, 2025 to December 31, 2028. So want to make a motion, or are there any questions about Jim?
Mr. Mayor, I motion that we approve Jim Schrader to the Veterans Commission.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Any questions on the motion? May we get a roll call vote, please?
Council President Roder?
Yes.
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Councilmember DePreez?
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay, our next item on the agenda is consideration of an Arts Commission survey. And this is the Arts Commission's recommending that council approves to seek public input via a proposed community arts survey. I know Stephanie Satterfield is here tonight if council has any questions for her. Does council have any questions about the survey? Sounds like I'm hearing none. Would anyone like to make a motion?
Sure. Okay, again, it's pretty straightforward. I think it's a good idea to seek public input. Looking at the questions and the like, it appears that, again, it's an opportunity for the citizens to express the directions they want this to go. So I would motion to approve, where do we go here? Consideration of Arts Commission survey.
I'll make a second on that.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion?
And the only thing I like to mention is there's no financial impact to the taxpayers, which is a good thing. And by the way, there's some really cool art in the city hallway out here that our employees have produced and made. So enjoy that on your way out.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful art out there. May we get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Council President Roder?
Yes.
Councilmember DePreez?
Yes.
Okay, our next item on new business is to request to seek proposals for strategic planning consultant to evaluate law enforcement services in Hayden. I will comment on this very quickly for the public's consumption. The reframing of our existing law enforcement services by the county has prompted the city to believe it to be prudent to consider an analysis of what our actual needs are and what those needs should cost, and to provide us with options. We don't have any predetermined outcome of this. This is just fact finding and giving us good, hard data. We guard our taxpayer dollars very seriously, and should we have to go out to either fund services with the county or elsewhere, we want to do so with hard data and knowledge. And so with that in mind, do we have a presentation for this, or just?
I certainly can speak to it if you'd like, but I don't.
Does council have any specific questions for staff about this?
I don't have any specific questions, but I do have something I wish to say about this.
Go ahead, Tom.
So I did listen to public comments, and as a citizen of Hayden, I agree with many of the things that were said tonight. The city of Hayden has had to deal with a rather contentious issue it's a disconnect that presently occurs between both the county commissioners and the city itself with how to implement law enforcement services. And because of that, there's been a lot of emotions related to this. And I, am always advocating that decisions about such weighty issues be made void of emotions. So I am one of the people that advocated that the city go out and hire us a third party who would provide objective data so that objective reasoning and questions and answers could be derived on how the city long-term goes forward with a law enforcement service. This is not to say that decisions have been made, but if we make our decisions right now when we're under so much duress, and it would be fraught with peril. So this allows us to take a deep breath and let the process move forward objectively. So I hope that does answer some of the concerns of the people that spoke tonight or maybe listening on video afterwards.
Well said, Tom. Anything to add?
Sure. To go along with what Tom said, I think it is extremely prudent to look at all the options. I think those who have been following or can easily follow, going back and looking at the meetings, the workshops, look at the information that's been provided. The county has made it quite obvious that in a short period of time, 3 to 5 years probably, they want us paying basically what the cities around us are paying. And you're right, about 35% of your budget. So either way, if we stay with the sheriff or we have our own, we're going to figure we're going to be paying pretty much to them or to us. With me, it's about accountability and control of what we're getting. So I think that for this service, a consultant to come in and give us cold, hard facts that we can then compare. And it's probably going to be very much what you look around at our neighboring cities, what their budgets are. I don't have any doubt about it. Yeah, it's going to be expensive. So, but we need that to take to the people because you're the ones who are going to vote on it. We can't raise taxes enough that we're going to have to either way. Whether everybody's, form a police department, doesn't matter whether we form one or stay with the sheriff. The county's going to has told us, you're going to expect to pay this much, or you're going to reduce the services. We're already getting our services reduced in half. Okay, we went to the voters 2-3 years ago now, and the sheriff told us you're going to get 10 deputies for this additional $543,000 that the people approved. And now we're being told that that same level of service will cost $1.8 million. And so we're only going to currently, situation is, get half of what we were told, 5 deputies instead of 10. So we need this information. We need to have this done so that we can give you accurate facts.
Thanks, Ed. Sandy or Matt, anything to add?
Yes, I'd like to add, I beg to differ with what's been said, and I believe that the people gave the sheriff a vote of confidence when they passed the levy a few years ago and voted to raise their own taxes in order to do that. Our job is to manage the increased base budget of 29% and not spend money on surveys and consultants. So I'm going to vote no on this.
Matt?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I'll reiterate one fact that Ed brought up, and I'm going to say it because it's important enough. And this is public record, and a proposal from the sheriff's, from the Board of County Commissioners. They're the ones that set their budget, and they come up with a contract, and they work with the sheriff on this, is that we would get half as many deputies for more money in 1 year. And that's unacceptable. We cannot look at, well, what about next year? Are we going to double that and get 2 deputies? We can't be under that kind of pressure to conform to these reductions. It's just not right. So this is about creating options. We can either be beholden to one entity and do whatever they force on us And when I say force, that's unacceptable. I don't want 5 deputies for more money. That's wrong. Now, regarding the possibilities, we have to look at, everybody in this room, we put all our knowledge together, we're not knowledgeable enough to know what it takes to put a police department together based on the crime stats that we have. Maybe we only need 11 deputies, or maybe 8, we don't know, but a consultant will tell us what we need. So we got to create that option. And the other thing I'll say is that I know that there are some very good grants for funding. I've heard up to 3 years of your police department, but after that, you got to have the tax base to pay for it. So it isn't about, oh, gee, we've got 3 years and we can do it right. And I'll reiterate what Ed has said, is it's going to be up to the people. We got to create options. And it costs some money to create that option, and then it's going to be up to the people. What level of service, or what do you want to pay? And so we have to take your input. And part of this is going to be, they're going to survey this is going to survey and find out, what do people want? And I think that's valuable.
Thank you, Matt. And just for clarity, this is not an action item to actually get a contract. This is an action item to go out and just simply review proposals. So council will have the opportunity to make a decision based on proposals in the future. With that, would anyone like to make a motion?
Sure. I would motion that we approve the request to seek proposals for strategic planning consultant to evaluate law enforcement services in Hayden.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion itself? May we get a roll call vote, please?
Council President Roder?
Yes.
Councilmember White?
No.
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Councilmember DePreez?
Yes.
Okay, our last new business item is to accept the canvassed election results of the November 4th, 2025 election. I assume that's straightforward enough. We could just do a motion.
I'll make the motion, Mayor, that we accept the November 4th, 2025 election canvassed election results.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? May we get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Councilmember DePreez?
Yes.
Council President Roder?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to move into our reports. City Administrator report and calendar review, please.
So at the next meeting, what I'm hoping to do with council is to it'll be our last meeting of the calendar year, and we'll take that time to kind of go through year in review. And so I'm compiling information from our respective departments to present that, including such as number of events that we held, number of participants in our rec programs, number of vehicle miles added to our transportation systems, all those things that I'm hoping to do each year as I work in this position with the city. So look forward to that. The remainder of my report is really what the agenda was about tonight. So unless there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Thank you. Any questions for Lisa? Okay, hearing none. We do not have a law enforcement person in the room tonight, so we have no report from them. Does any council member have any reports from their commissions or boards they sit on behalf of the city?
I do.
Okay,
Many of you probably don't know that we have a really good sewer plant, and it's the Hayden Area Regional Sewer Plant. Every time you flush, we're taking care of that. But we're not the only owners of it. It's shared by the county, who has a 1% ownership, if you will. The Hayden Lake Sewer District, which has 24%, and we have the remaining percentage. And we've been trying in the last couple of years doing a dissolution. It's like a divorce, because it's so complex to run a plant with 3 different entities, different ownerships, and you have equal votes. So we went into mediation, and we're done with the mediation.
Mediation's confidential.
Yeah, well, that's how I was going to say. We went into mediation trying to work this out, and
if hypothetically it didn't go well, can we say that?
You can say it did not resolve.
it did not, the divorce did not dissolve. There you go. I was careful. But you need to know, it's a huge thing that we're working on. I've been working on it for years.
No, it is a big deal.
Thank you, Fonda.
You're welcome.
On that, I'm going to ask council in January, I'm going to bring up a discussion to ask you all if you want to move boards to learn new areas, like if you want to move from KMPO to something else, or if somebody wants to go PAC, which is what I do. So just think about that. And so in January, we'll come up with our list of boards and whatnot we sit on and see if we need to make any adjustments. Do we have any requests for future agenda items tonight? Okay, I'm hearing none. Our next item is an executive session in support of Idaho Code 742061C and 742061F. We do need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember White?
No?
Council President Roder?
Yes.
Councilmember DePreez?
Yep.
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay, for our public, safe travels home. Merry Christmas, everyone, if I
Yeah.
don't see you.
Take a quick break, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, we'll take a break till, let's go to 6:05.